Hi everyone, my name is Martha and welcome back to my channel. So I know it's been a long time since I filmed a video, and I will do a chit chat, get ready with me, kind of just giving a backstory and an update on my life since my last video, and just what's, you know, just nothing major, just what's been going on in life and plans in 2019 and blah blah blah. But for today's video, it's going to be a review and demo on the Fenty concealer and also the new foundation shade that they released in 385. So I actually filmed this video a couple days ago and it was a first impression. The footage was actually just really dark because I filmed it in natural lighting, and I realized that like the natural lighting just wasn't enough and it was just looked grainy and dark and I didn't like it, so I decided to refilm it, which was actually better because I felt like my opinions in the original video weren't fully developed, and I think they were also just kind of like off of primarily excitement, which makes sense because I am very excited for this launch and I was very excited for it, and I picked up the concealers on the day they released, and so my thoughts were just extremely positive, which they still are. But I just want to come on here and give you a more experience-based review on the concealer after wearing it for the past couple days. So I got the foundation in the shade 385, which is one of the new shades that Rihanna released. So originally she had 40 shades and then she added 10 new shades, which is really great because the shade 385 was a perfect kind of answer to those of us who were in between 370 and 380 and 390 and just could not find our matches, because I was one of those people who had a very difficult time trying to find their match in the Fenty foundation when the first release. So I had tried 360, 370, not 380, 390, 400, 410, 420 and none of those shades matched me as well as I would have liked. So I did end up buying 370 and it did match me in and I showed it in one of the videos that I did in the past. It was one of my like chit chat get ready with me's, and it matched me at the time, but that was more so because it was like the dead of winter and like it matched the center of my face really well, and I added some bronzer and it like worked out. But still, like the moment I got any darker, that shade did not match me, so I just got tired of wearing it and it just got really frustrating because I was like, I shouldn't have to make this shade work that hard. So I was really excited to hear that Rihanna was coming out with a new shade in 385, which would hopefully be darker than 370 but also less orange than 390, because 390 was some Oompa Loompa carrot stuff and I just could not wear it. Like that's the shade I wore in my very first review of the foundation, and like even in that demo you can see how orange that shade was, and I just could not make it work. So 385 is described as tan to deep with neutral undertones, and which is a pretty accurate description, but I even feel like for a neutral shade it leans more yellow than like pink neutral, which works out for me because I have very strong golden undertones in my chest region. So I decided to give 385 a try. I'm going to have the demo of me putting it on my face, both the foundation and the concealers, today, just to show you how it applies and the close-ups of it on my skin, and then I'm going to have my first impressions kind of review of it inserted at the end. And I will also just say, kind of as a preface to that clip, that I do have generally positive feelings about the foundation and my opinions are mostly the same, though I will add that the concealer, if you have really fine lines under your eye like I do, you have to set it very well because this concealer is very thick and creamy, and if you do not set it very well with powder, it will crease and settle into your fine lines. So the first day I would say it like settled it settled into my fine lines, and I usually have settling with most concealers. I will say today I added a little bit more powder and I was more intentional with my under eye setting, so I have noticed less creasing, which is good. So that's one thing to note about these concealers. They are very thick, they are very creamy, and they have a lot of coverage. I also will say that the coverage is like not super heavy feeling. I will say it's like more medium, like a full medium kind of coverage. You can definitely get like full coverage if you build it up, but I would not personally do that because I like I don't know, I don't really like super heavy concealer under my face, but I feel like this has a nice medium coverage, and I think that kind of fits well with the foundation because the foundation is also a nice medium coverage. Like, if the overall vibe of Rihanna's face products are very like natural beat, you know? So I think that works well. So I will still insert my first impression thoughts on the foundation at the end of this video, but I also just want to include how I felt today after wearing it after a couple days, particularly about the concealer, because I know my first impressions thoughts, I focus mostly on the foundation, even though I did mean to say foundation and concealer. Most of my thoughts were centered on the foundation, but I wanted to add that like I really do love the concealer, especially the yellow shade, because I think that is the answer to my shade matching issues with concealers, because I've never found a concealer that is as yellow as this one, and it just adds so much more dimension and warmth to my face. And I say that in my first impressions as well, but like I have to say it again, like I really do appreciate that Rihanna added a dark yellow shade to the line. Alright y'all, I'm back. As you can tell, my setup is a little different because it's nighttime now, and I have a huge light in front of me so I look even shinier. Okay, so I'm definitely pretty oily, not in a like a super duper like oh my god I'm so greasy way. It's more so like I feel like I see my natural oils coming through, but the foundation still looks decent. I ate with this foundation on, so the foundation around my mouth has faded a little bit, but even still it's not super duper gone. The foundation around my chin is gone because my chin gets super oily, and I think I rest my hand on my face a lot. My nose is oily, the center of, you know, my T-zone is oily, but aside from that, I'd say the foundation still has held up pretty well. Like, it's still pretty matte around the places where I'm not oily, and even the oily spots, like, they're noticeably oily, but it's really not that bad at all. And I get very oily. I mean, it's also winter, so that's something to be said, but I do get oily pretty often and a lot. But I love this foundation, honestly, guys. I will insert pictures of just like before and after. And then again, I will have inserted swatches in the video of the Fenty foundation and the Fenty concealers compared to other foundations and concealers that I have. My final thoughts on this foundation are that I love it. I really like, I'm honestly, and I'm not saying this just because it's Fenty. I obviously wanted to like it because it's Fenty, but if I didn't like it, I would have said, no, I don't like it. But I wear so comfortably. Like, I really did not feel like I had foundation on when I put it on, and I did not feel like I had foundation on as I wore it throughout the day. And still right now, even though I've like gotten oily, I still don't feel like I have foundation on. Like, I keep accidentally touching my face because I forget that I have foundation on. So it's very lightweight and it's wearing very well. Like, this is gonna be the 8th hour about, you know, it's like around 12 midnight, and I finished up my foundation around 4:45, so 7 or 8 hours, and it's finally starting to get oily. So I think that's a really decent wear time, especially for such a like a lightweight foundation. And I think the coverage was pretty good. It wasn't, I wouldn't say this foundation is full coverage for me. I would say it's very like a comfortable medium finish. And I think that's the point. I think it's a very natural looking foundation, like Your Skin But Better. And the same goes for the concealer. It's very Your Skin But Better, and it dries down to a natural matte finish. And the color match, oh my god, I love the color match both for the foundation and for the concealers that I chose, because the foundation, the 385, I think was the perfect medium between the 370 and like the 390, because the 390 again was too orange and the 370 was too light, you know? And so the 385 was a little bit neutral, but it still worked in terms of depth of color, and was it was a good enough shade for me. And then because I had a 345 and 385 concealer, with the 345 being the yellowy concealer, it was perfect. It was a perfect combination for me to kind of add the yellowness back into my skin, and I think it really helped balance out the neutralness of the foundation. And I think all of it just worked really, really well together, and I really am excited about this foundation combination because it looked so good in pictures. Like, it looked so flawless. And again, I'll insert pictures, and I already inserted them, but it just looked so good. And so I'm very happy and I'm very pleased with the foundation. I think Rihanna did a great job, and Dee did a great job, and I would recommend this product off of my first impressions. So, and honestly, I really like this foundation, and I will continue to wear it because I just love it. It's in the color match. I can't get over the color match. Probably the best color match I've had in a very long time. And that's a big deal because I feel like my skin tone is very hard to color match. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content.